Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week from June 11th to the 17th, though. And we got, for this one, I'm going to be taking a look at several of the showcases that actually happened this week, from the Xbox Showcase, the Starfield Direct that was part of the Xbox Showcase. I'm going to split both of them up, though. The Ubisoft Forward, and of course, Capcom's showcase as well. So I'm going to be taking a look at those and see what I did and did not like about it, though. Also, we don't really have any basically, you know, no movie or TV part, though, for at least for this week, though, on the quick My 2 Cent part, mostly because I want to focus on these showcase and all. But if you're curious where I got a lot of these sorts of information or the showcases or anything like that, links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. But before we get started, I'll do what I like to call the quick My 2 Cents, stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into huge amount of details, though. The first one is that basically Metroid Prime 4 developer Retro Studio is currently hiring new talent, though. I mean, we've been seeing them hire a lot of people lately, which certainly makes me very interested in what Metroid Prime 4 is going to be like, though. It remains to be seen if it will be coming to the still coming to the Nintendo Switch or not. There are some that are speculating it could be a cross-gen title. It could come onto the successor of the Nintendo Switch, but time will ultimately tell. All we know is that Retro is certainly continue to hire more people, though. We also learned that Persona 5 Tactica has been confirmed coming to the Nintendo Switch, though. This was revealed after the game made its appearance on the Xbox showcase and all. There were questions of whether or not this game was coming to the Nintendo Switch, though. Now it's been confirmed that's the case, though. No word at this time as Persona 3 Reload will make its way over to the Nintendo Switch or not, but some out there are speculating over the fact that it could make its way, that it might be announced for the Nintendo, might be announced of what many believe that a Nintendo Direct is happening now. And to be fair, that has happened before, so we'll wait and see if that turns out to be true. But for now, we do now know that Persona 5 Tactica is coming to the Nintendo Switch after all. We also learned that Triangle Strategy has received its first update, though, and one of it adds an extra story eulogy, though. Nice to see this game is still getting some love, to be exact, though. The team that developed the game, which has also done a lot of this HD 2D visuals, still looks amazing and everything like that. So nice to see that the game is getting a update and all. We also learned that, at least according to Jeff Keighley, though, when he tried out the demo of Prince of Persia Lost Crown on the Nintendo Switch, according to him, his claim is that the game will be running at 60 frames per second, which, if that is true, if that is true, though, I think that certainly is a good thing for a game like this, though, and it certainly makes me more interested in picking up the Switch version even more. I'll get to it when I talk about the Ubisoft Forward part of it, though. We learned that Forza Motorsport Career Mode will unfortunately be always online, though. There are plans for DLCs and everything like that, and supposedly the free mode might not be online or anything like that, but for those who are interested in the career mode, unfortunately that is going to be the case and all. Personally, it is unfortunate, though. I will admit that, though, and I know not everybody is thrilled about that, though. That said, it is going to Game Pass, so at the very least, if something happens, I personally don't feel like I had just wasted $70 or anything like that. And last but not least, though, Grasshopper Manufacturer first did their own Direct or Showcase, to be exact, and well, let's just say it felt like they obviously took a page out of Devolver Digital's showcase, which is known to be very sarcastic and a take on the industry itself, though. They did show off a bit of Shadows of the Dam remaster, same as coming to current platforms. Probably, though, that could be just them trolling us or anything like that. If it does come to Nintendo Switch, I certainly would be down with that, though. They also showed up a fake movie trailer, some merch, and they also had a game Suda51 was trying out, but basically they couldn't show much details of it at this time though. So I mean, again, like I said, it's more if you like the kind of approach that Devolver Digital has done with their showcase and direct, though, you might like what Grasshopper Manufacturer has done, though. I mean, for me, the big one is, of course, Shadows of the Dam getting a remaster treatment. So, I mean, so it is what it is. Grasshopper Manufacturer did its own special direct and all. Okay, with the quick my 2 cent part out of the way, we'll get started with our first part, and this one will have to do with the Xbox Showcase. Now, going into the Xbox Showcase and all, Microsoft was actually not in the best of positions, though. Their games, last game, Hi-Fi Rush, was supposed to be one of their big releases, did not launch in the best of state, and they got criticized. Both Bethesda, Arcane Studio, and Microsoft got criticized really hard. A lot of it was justifiable, to be exact, although recently Redfall just did get a recent update that supposedly improved a lot of things, to be exact, and as of right now, it doesn't sound like Microsoft has any plans to close Arcade Austin at this time or anything like that. But in either case, though, they were certainly not really, they weren't really going into it, and they were let's just say they weren't going into the Xbox Showcase in the best position, to be exact. Well, after finally watching this showcase and the Starfield Direct, I will talk about that in part 2 and all. I will say that I certainly came away pleased with what I saw, and I thought this was definitely a very good showcase for them. Do I think it's an improvement over the PlayStation Showcase? In my opinion, yes. It's not 100% perfect, but they definitely did a better job with this one than, say, what Sony did with the PlayStation Showcase, at least when they did that one. So, like with all the showcase I'm going to be talking about in this video, though, I'm going to break it down into what I liked and what I didn't like, mixed, not 100%, not exactly sure about, though. In terms of what I like, one of the games they announced was Capcom's Path of the Goddess, though. Based on what they showed off that footage, though, it definitely has caught my attention. I'm definitely getting a little bit of a Onimusha vibe to it to a certain degree, and that certainly is not a bad thing. I mean, I would love for them to port the other Onimusha games, though. Hell, I would be open for the brand new entry if they ever do that, though. But this one definitely has caught my attention. I've heard certain stories about the possibility of being somewhat like Pikmin to a certain degree, so we'll have to wait and see if once we start seeing more gameplay and everything like that. But the Path of the Goddess from Capcom looks very interesting, and obviously it's going to be day one on Game Pass, though. That's obviously the big focus on that's a big focus for what Xbox is doing now. The next thing I want to talk about is basically there are certainly a lot of RPGs, and they really went all out on this one, though. Some of them they showed off were the 2 games, Evolve from Obsidian and Clockwork Revolution from basically NX Entertainment, or the same developers that did Wastelander series, with Wastelander 3 being their recent entries, though. And I will say I'm definitely hyped for those games, to be exact, though. Evolve, the visuals, I mean, some parts look good, some parts don't, to be exact, though, but we'll see. Hopefully the game supposedly will be out next year, assuming they could hit that launch date, if I'm reading this correctly, though. I am very curious to see how this one is going to play compared to Obsidian's last game, The Outer Worlds, though. Although, from what I've been hearing, the scale of the game seems to be much closer to what The Outer Worlds was. So, at least from what I've been hearing, though. But we'll see how the final product is when the game finally comes out. And Clockwork Revolution definitely is also another one on my radar, to be exact, though. I like the steampunk aesthetics, though, and the fact that it's a first-person shooter and RPG. I like that combination, to be exact, though. There's still some unanswered information, though. Is it going to be as a large scale as, say, what Bethesda is known for with games like Skyrim or Fallout or even the upcoming Starfield, though? Is it going to be semi-open world to the way Obsidian approached with the Outer Worlds and the upcoming Evolve? Or is it going to be sort of a linear approach, though? And I'm very curious to see how the choices and consequences play out in that game, to be exact, though. And I can see where there's some inspiration to BioShock to a certain degree, though, which to me isn't necessarily a bad thing. So there's still some questions about Clockwork Revolution, but has certainly caught my interest in it, and those are two, I think, really big RPGs that I'm definitely looking forward to playing on Game Pass, particularly on my Series S, though. Meanwhile, we did get some, Altus definitely came in with some support for the Xbox Series S with some of their announcements, though. We've learned that Persona 3 Reloaded is coming to Game Pass. It's along with Persona 5 Tactics. It's worth pointing out Persona 3 Reloaded and Persona 5 Tactics will be coming to other systems. We know Persona 5 Tactics is coming to the Nintendo Switch, though. And we also got to see a brand new IP for them called Metaphor, ReFantazio, if I'm saying the name correctly, from the same folks who worked on the Persona series. I'm very curious about that game, to be exact, though, and it's one I would definitely be worth trying out. And since supposedly it will be coming to Game Pass, I could be wrong on that, but supposedly it is, and if that's the case, it's definitely on my radar. Altus definitely brought some RPGs over to the showcase, though, and some of these I am definitely looking forward to. And last but not least, though, I definitely like the fact that the show definitely focused more on the games and not as much on the CGI as what we saw with the PlayStation showcase, to be exact. And I certainly think that was a good thing, though. I also like the fact that they didn't have any movie or TV show trailers or anything like that. I mean, if they want to talk about the second season on Halo on Paramount Plus, save that for like a separate event or do something separate. Much like how what Nintendo did with the Super Mario Brothers movie, they held a direct just for that movie alone, though. But I definitely like the fact that they focused a lot on the games that were being shown and everything like that, and not as much on the CGI. I mean, there are certainly some criticisms, though, with what did we see with Hellblade 2 and everything like that, and of course Fable, which I will get to that one as well, though. But I would say, like the fact that they focus mostly on the games, and that certainly is a very good thing, at least in my book, though. As far as what I didn't like or mix or not sure about, though, I would say that Fable, unfortunately, or at least the gameplay side, was, in my view, somewhat of a disappointment, despite them claiming that it was running on in-game engine, though. I mean, what Playground Games is working on looks interesting, though, and I'm very curious to see more about how Playground Games take on Fable, though. But I just felt, just like with others, though, it felt like more like just showing the CGI, just nothing really, no real. I didn't feel like they showed actual gameplay, despite the claim from Aaron Greensberg saying no CGI, just gameplay and everything like that. Kind of similar with the situation with Hellblade 2, to be exact, though. So maybe over time they'll start showing they'll actually show some gameplays of what this Fable reboot is going to be like, but for now what they showed, I just felt like they didn't really show any gameplay for the Fable reboot and all. The next one is going to be Star Wars Outlaws, though, and again, like that one, during the Xbox showcase, they only had a CGI and everything like that, though. I'm somewhat iffy with the idea of Ubisoft and Massive working on the game, though. I'll talk a little bit more about basically on the Ubisoft forum part, but I'm just not yet sold on it at this time, though. The next thing is that Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, though. I mean, I am looking forward to the expansion, though. Cyberpunk 2077 is certainly a better game now than when it was when it originally launched and everything like that. But what they showed was just more, I felt like, at least from how I saw it, though, was just mostly just cutscenes and not really showing off basically some gameplay and everything like that. So to me, that was a little bit disappointing, though. I mean, again, I'm not saying I hate the game or anything like that, though. I am looking forward to it when it's released, when it comes out, everything like that. I am enjoying Cyberpunk 2077, but I think some gameplay would have been nice that they had shown for that one, though. The other thing is that there are some games that unfortunately were not shown during the showcase that I think would have been nice to see. Some games like the Indiana Jones that supposedly Bethesda and Machine Games is working on, I would have liked them to actually show that if they and all that, though. That is a little bit unfortunate, though. Other games, like another entry either in the Gears or Wolfenstein or what id Software is working on, that would have been nice, though. The big one for me, though, unfortunately, was Stalker 2, and that, unfortunately, was not shown during the showcase, though. I can understand, given the current situation right now between the war between Ukraine and Russia and everything like that, and obviously the developer safety and everything like that. But still, it is a little bit unfortunate that Stalker 2 was not shown basically during the Xbox showcase. I would have liked to see more of that footage, but like I said, there's a situation with Russia and Ukraine, plus supposedly the development team was hacked and everything like that. So, I mean, hopefully the folks are safe, though. Hopefully we'll see the game will see the light of day, though. But it is a bit unfortunate it was MIA during the Xbox showcase. And last but not least, though, I will say the 1 terabyte Xbox Series S announcement, I'm somewhat mixed on this. On one hand, I think it's a good thing, though, that they're increasing the storage space from the traditional Xbox Series S, which was like 500 gigabytes, though. But at the same time, I can see how some people may not be happy about it, to feel like they've been ripped off, especially for those who purchased the 500 gigabyte when that came out, along with the launch of the Xbox Series X and S, though. So I am somewhat mixed on it, though. But then again, I was mixed when Nintendo announced the Switch Lite, and I wasn't sure about it, though. And yet, that seemed to have not hurt the Switch in any way or anything like that. So maybe this won't, though, but I am a little mixed with them announcing the 1 terabyte Xbox Series S. Overall, I would say in terms of this Xbox showcase, this, in a way, was kind of the shot of the arm Microsoft really needed, though. They definitely came out with some pretty good games, though. It's clear they're really going into, like, maybe the RPG side. We have some Japanese RPGs, but definitely some Western RPGs, though. And I definitely thought the presentation was definitely better, though. Yes, there were certain games like Fable, I thought the gameplay was MIA, though. Some games, unfortunately, were not shown during the presentation, which would have been nice if they showed them, though. And I am still mixed on the idea of and I still can see why some people may feel like they're ripped off after hearing the announcement of a 1 terabyte Xbox Series S, though. But in the end, I still felt this was a very good presentation for them, though, and I would like to see them try to keep that momentum going and everything like that. Hopefully, they'll learn from what people did and did not like about this Direct, and hopefully the lessons from Redfall have really poured over, and this time they could try to put out, quality titles and everything like that. I definitely felt this is definitely the step in the right direction, though, but I do think that if whether they can execute it or not, that, however, remains to be seen, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, and this one's going to be my take on the Starfield Direct that happened following the Xbox showcase. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video for this week, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the Starfield Direct. Now, this is probably one of the biggest games that Microsoft's going to push out for the holidays, to be exact. Or actually, it'll be out September 9th, barring any last-minute delays or anything like that. And in a way, the pressure is kind of on with them and Bethesda, to be exact. Again, as I explained with the Redfall situation, though. So they definitely got a bit more of a deep dive into the game than from in the past, though, when we had only a little bit of snippets here and there, though, and they showed off definitely ranging from the gameplay to a lot of the customizations that you could do here in terms of, ships and everything like that, or space or bases and everything and all. And after watching the Starfield Direct, I will say I am definitely cautiously optimistic about this game, though. I still have some concerns about it, though, but I'm definitely more open to this game than probably when I was in the past and everything like that, though. In terms of what I like and what I didn't like, or, mixed and 100% sure, though, I will say, from the combat standpoint, though, it definitely looks really neat and cool, to be exact, though. Being this is from Bethesda, that has done the Skyrim and, or the Elder Scroll, and, of course, the Fallout series, though, you definitely kind of have a good idea what the combat's going to be like. To be exact, though, it's going to be sort of like mixture of RPG and being able to play this game either in a third-person or first-person perspective. Most of the combat they showed off in a first-person perspective, and I am very curious to see more of the combat side, especially the part with using your jetpack in terms of attacking certain enemies, especially to using melee weapons and everything like that. One criticism that kind of has caught people's attention is the fact that basically it's the frame rate being at 30 frames per second, to be exact, though. And I will say that I'm not as bothered by it as much as other people make it sound like it is, though, to be exact, though. I will admit, though, that I would have preferred this game running at 60 frames per second. I don't completely disagree with that, but I don't think 30 frames per second is necessarily as bad as some people make it sound like it is, provided it's a stable, steady 30 frames per second. For 30 frames per second, and if they can hit that, then that is certainly fine with me, though. It is also worth pointing out that there's a difference between the Xbox Series X and S and PC, and bear in mind the Xbox Series X and S, like the PS5, like the Nintendo Switch, is a closed box compared to what the PC is, which is a more open box. So it doesn't completely surprise me to see the PC version running at 60 frames per second compared to the console version, to be exact. Maybe there might be an update down the road where performance mode might happen, though, but for now it's going to be at 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X and S, and I'm not as bothered by it as much as some make it out to be. Plus, from a visual standpoint, I will say that it looks better than Skyrim does, which, again, good game, but in terms of visuals, it doesn't age as well, to be exact. And maybe, to some extent, I think it looks better than Fallout 4, though. So, I mean, Bethesda isn't known for its visuals, though, but I would say it's still... The visuals look fine to me, and the combat is certainly interesting, though. The dogfights, in terms of the space dogfights, look kind of interesting to engage, though. I also like the idea how you could board and take over the enemy ship and everything like that, though. And of course, being that it's a Bethesda game, there's also dialogues with choices and consequences, to be exact, though. So there's certainly the dogfight part, like the combat, looks interesting, though. The other thing is the build your own base and the spaceships, though. Those, again, look kind of interesting, to be exact, though. They showed off a demonstration of one person building what almost looks as close to what Optimus Prime from the Transformers and all that would look like, though. I mean, obviously it doesn't look exactly 100% like Optimus Prime, but it's pretty close, though. So I definitely think the whole build your own base and spaceship part definitely looks interesting, though. And the story certainly has caught my attention, to be exact, being these explorers, exploring the galaxy and everything like that, though. And I definitely like that approach. So I'm definitely think the story definitely has certainly, let's just say, quirked my interest, to be exact, though. As far as what I don't like or mix or not 100% sure about, though, is the claim there are going to be over 1,000 planets that you can visit, though. And I'm a little cautious about Todd Howard saying this because in the past he has kind of, some people felt like he has lied, especially after what we saw with Fallout 76, though. And I can't help but shake the feeling that this is just sounds too good to be true, and this is just going to be the same planet with a different coat of paint, though. I could be wrong, and they could surprise us a bit, though. And this being over 1,000 planets to visit may be more impressive than what we originally thought, though. But right now, I just feel like it's basically just sounds too good to be true, at least in my book, to be exact, though. The other thing is about the game's launch, though, and this has to do with given Bethesda's past history. Bethesda has been known to ship games that have known to have bugs and glitches and everything like that, which might have been okay back then. But after how Fallout 76 launched, though, that really kind of opened the floodgates to how the game looked and all. And using Bethesda games are known for bugs and glitches isn't really going to fly as much as it used to back then, to be exact, though. So I am worried about the game's launch, though. I'm hoping they launch the game well. Hopefully it's as smooth as they can for the game to be launched, though. So I am worried given Bethesda's past history, though, to be exact, especially after what happened with Fallout 76. And again, I hate being a dead horse saying this, the Redfall situation. And finally, depending on your view on this, depending on whether you like or not like about this, though, you can't help but shake the feeling that the game somehow takes somewhat of a No Man's Sky approach to a certain degree. And some of that has to do with you finding resources and everything and, like building bases and all that stuff. Again, that's going to come down to one's preference and taste, though. For some, that may not be a bad thing. For others who maybe did not like No Man's Sky, though, this game may not interest you in any way, though. Supposedly, it looks like they're trying to go beyond No Man's Sky, so we'll have to wait and see. And like I said, some of that will depend on whether you have issues with No Man's Sky or not. Overall, in terms of the Starfield Direct, though, the game has definitely, based on after what I saw, I am cautiously optimistic about it, but I'm also very interested about it, though. I know Bethesda isn't 100% perfect, but they are known to make good games, to be exact, though. And Starfield certainly has caught my attention, to be exact, though. Yes, there are certain things. The combat looks nice. I'm a big fan of mixing RPGs with first-person shooter. It does follow the approach that Bethesda is known for, which is playing the game either in a third-person view or a first-person view. I'm going to be playing it in the first-person view and all that stuff, though. And so the story's interesting. The idea of building your own spaceship and base also looks interesting, though. But again, I'm not sure about the 1,000 planets, though. It sounds interesting, and the ability to explore these planets look interesting, though. But I feel like that sounds too good to be true, though. Again, I'm worried about basically given Bethesda's past history, though, about the game, how the game will launch, though. And if you don't like if you're not a fan of the No Man's Sky approach, which to me, I kind of feel like that's what I'm getting from Starfield to a certain degree, you may not like, then the odds are there's a very good chance you may not like Starfield and everything like that. But I will say the takeaway is that I am looking forward to trying this game out since this will be day one on Game Pass, though. And if for some reason, pardon my language, the game does turn out to be shit, though, hey, you know what? I tried it on Game Pass. I deleted it. I didn't have to blow $70 or anything like that, though. So at least there is a silver lining since it will be day one on Game Pass and all. But I will say, like I said, with Starfield, I am kind of cautiously optimistic, but also very interested in what they are showing and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with the Ubisoft Forward, though, which they had their event. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, I'm going to be taking a look at the Ubisoft Forward, which they had their own directed showcase. When it comes to Ubisoft, though, to me, I feel like they could be a hit or miss. There are times when they can make good games and that their games can be enjoyable, but Ubisoft also has a history of ranging from focusing on too much on live services to basically recycling their same approach to game designs to like every single game out there, when the truth of the matter is not every game needs that or everything like that. I mean, there are people calling who want to see Splinter Cell make a comeback, but Ubisoft doesn't know exactly what the hell they're doing outside of basically a remake of the original Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell and everything like that. That I think that they mentioned, or with a brief teaser and all that stuff. Well, they did have their showcase, though. I did get a chance to watch it, or watch parts of it when I had the chance and all. And while I won't say it's terrible or awful or anything like that, I will say it's not as strong as what Microsoft had to offer into their showcase and all. In terms of what I liked and everything like that, I will say Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown definitely stole the show for me. This is definitely one on my radar and all. I know some people downvote it and criticize it, particularly with the choice of music. And I'll admit, I do question the choice of music that they had for the trailer, though. But what they showed so far definitely looked interesting, though. And the fact they're taking a Metroidvania type of approach certainly isn't a bad thing. I like those type of games and everything like that. So basically, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is definitely on my radar and all, though. As far as the Assassin's Creed game, though, I would say out of all of them, Assassin's Creed Mirage does look kind of interesting. The fact that they're returning to the series' roots, though, does make me kind of wonder how this one is going to play out and everything like that, though. So it kind of has perked my interest, though, but I'm still taking a wait-and-see approach of it in terms of with Assassin's Creed Mirage, though. And finally, last but not least, even though this is unfortunately only a trailer for this, though, didn't really show off anything I would like to have seen more. They did show off more of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, this time with Rayman now going to be into the DLC, which is certainly nice, though, but at the same time, it did make me kind of wish Ubisoft tried to do more with the Rayman IP, which sadly has remained dormant for a long time, though, so it is a little bit unfortunate, and with one of the original creator pretty much retiring from the gaming industry, although there were allegations of what he treated some of the employees and everything that he's done when he was at Ubisoft and everything like that, though. And let's be honest, Ubisoft has its own share of criticism, including one of the employees who made, including the higher-ups that made the infamous "the balls in your court," which rubbed people the wrong way, to be exact, though. In terms of what I didn't like or mix or not 100% sure about, though, I will say Avatar Frontier Pandora, I'm not really 100% sold on that game at this time. It might be good in any way. It does seem to be taking a Far Cry approach, so I would have to get a little bit more into it, though. And visually, it's like, it doesn't really impress me in any way of that. So I'm not really sold on this one. The other one is when they basically announced Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, a brand new show from Netflix and everything like that. Now, Netflix can be sort of a hit and miss when it comes to video game adaptations, so some of them like Dragon Dogma and Resident Evil, the live action didn't fare very well, while others like Witcher, Cyberpunk Edgerunner, and basically Witcher, Cyberpunk Edgerunner, and Castlevania have fared very well at Netflix, though. And this one might be good, so we'll have to wait and see. But this also kind of falls into the criticism that people had with the PlayStation Showcase, which is basically that they showed off a movie trailer. This is kind of a same thing as well, though. So, maybe as a separate announcement, that would be fine, but I just wasn't sure about them announcing this during the Ubisoft Showcase. Speaking of the showcase itself, though, I didn't exactly 100% agree with the approach, which is basically have the live event and, people clapping and all that stuff. I won't say it was completely cheesy or dumb or anything like that, but it just didn't impress me as much as, say, like, the Xbox Showcase, which was just getting straight to the point and everything like that. And this one, they had people on stage and all that and talking about this and that. So it just, the format, I didn't exactly 100% agree with Ubisoft in terms of this approach, though. And finally, as I mentioned with the Xbox Showcase, though, I'm still mixed on Star Wars Outlaw, though. Yes, they showed more than what was shown at the Xbox Showcase, though. They showed it as an open world approach, to be exact, and the game might be good in any way, though. It is sort of interesting, though, but still, it is that Ubisoft open world formula. There is worry that it'll be following that same route and everything like that, though. Supposedly it looks like it's a single player game, but I am worried about if they're going to put an always online or anything like that. So there's still some stuff that I'm very mixed about in terms of that game, though. I want it to be good, don't get me wrong, though. I think the idea of being an outlaw or taking place between, I think, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi certainly does sound interesting, though, but I'm just still mixed on this one, though. Overall, as far as the Ubisoft Forward goes, I won't say it's awful or anything like that, but it definitely was nowhere near the level that, say, the Starfield Direct or the Xbox Showcase was, though. I mean, yes, I definitely enjoyed. I'm glad they showed more Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That definitely was the highlight for me, and it's one I am looking forward to, especially on the Nintendo Switch, if the reports are true that it runs at 60 frames per second on the Nintendo Switch, though. Assassin's Creed Mirage, going back to its roots, does sound interesting. It's worth. I might consider taking a look at that one. And hearing new DLC for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, that definitely is a good thing, even though I wish they did more with the Rayman IP. But again, I'm not 100% sold on Avatar Frontier of Pandora, though. I don't like the fact that they announced Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, a Netflix shows during the event. I think that could have been saved for a separate announcement, though. I don't agree with the approach they made with the the live audience. I understand they want to try to bring back some form of normality following following COVID and everything like that. But I just prefer the approach Microsoft did, though. And I'm still mixed on Star Wars Outlaw, even though they showed more than what was shown during the Xbox Showcase, though. So I would say Ubisoft's Forward, was definitely. Not terrible, but not as strong as basically as the Xbox Showcase was for this week and everything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part, and this one is going to be taking a look at Capcom's showcase and everything. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of my True Set video, and for this one, I'm going to be taking a look at Capcom, which had their showcase as well. So, with this one, Capcom, from what I heard, is that basically many consider it as the weakest one out of the ones that happened this week, though, and when I got a chance to watch it and everything like that, and I will say, again, just like with the Ubisoft Forward, it isn't the worst one, but I don't say it was terrible or anything like that. But I will say, when compared to the ones that I mentioned in this video, though, it's obviously wasn't the strongest, at least from what Capcom was doing with their showcase. So as far as what I liked, though, I felt like Dragon Dogma 2 was, in my view, the big highlight there. They really digged into some of the more details and everything like that, ranging from, the combat to the prawns and everything like that, though, with some of the characters, some enemies from the past, from the first Dragon Dogma making an appearance in this game, though. I felt like they really did a deep dive on this one, and Dragon Dogma 2 is definitely on my radar, though. I did enjoy the first one. I got Dragon Dogma Dark Arisen for the Nintendo Switch and everything like that, and I've been enjoying that game to be exact, though. Visually, it looks like it's an improvement over the first one, though. I won't say it's going to blow Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild's visual out of the water, but it definitely looks better than the first one, though. And again, the RE engine still impresses us in every way, though. So to see it used in sort of what it looks like a more open world type of approach is certainly interesting, though. I am a little bit more curious to see if they improve any more with the prawn system. I'm wondering if you have more control than you did before in the past one. There might be some stuff I may have missed on that, but I will say Dragon Dogma 2 is definitely a big one on my radar, though, and I'm looking forward to playing that game when that comes out and everything like that. And last but not least, though, we saw a collection of games, or at least some games, basically coming to multiple platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. The first one was Ghost Trick Detective, that I believe originally was, I think it might have been the 3DS. I'm not sure though, but I believe that might have been the case. That one will be coming up to multiple platforms, and a demo is available for that right now. So that certainly is nice though. And finally, we're getting Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy though. That started out, that eventually was the next entry in the Apollo Justice series though, or the Apollo Ace Attorney series to be exact though. So it's nice to see that we're getting the collection of those games making their way over to multiple platforms, including the Nintendo Switch though. I do hope that this opens the door to the possibility of a new entry in the Ace Attorney series, to even, the Miles Edwards spin-off that I believe we got for the DS. Only one here in the West, not the other one that was only in Japan though. I'm hoping this opens the door for Capcom to bring those games over here to the West though. Then again, there's a Lost Planet game that was only available, I believe, on the 3DS that never saw its lights of day here in the West though. So I do hope that this opens the door for those games to come over to the West though. But nice to see that Ghost Trick Detective and Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogies are going to be coming over here as well. I'm looking forward to those games though. They're kind of like point and click type of games though, and again, that may or may not appeal to people depending on your preference and taste and all. As far as what I didn't like or mix or not sure about the Capcom showcase though, I will say that it's Path of the Goddess that they showed during the Capcom showcase. Now don't get me wrong, it still looks amazing though, and I'm still looking forward to trying this game out since it will also be day one on Game Pass and all. But based on the footage that they showed here and all, I just can't help but feel that all they showed was just the same footage that was shown during the Xbox showcase. So it didn't feel like they showed off really anything new, at least as far as how I saw it though. Maybe we'll hear about this game over time. They'll start spilling the beans on more information and show up some more stuff though. But based on what they showed during the Capcom showcase, it just felt like it was just stuff I've already seen during the Xbox showcase and all. The next one was the Mega Man X Dive offline though, and unfortunately, depending on your view, this is a game for ISO and Android devices though. In other words, it's not the Mega Man game some of us or most of us were waiting for. A lot of us would have wanted to see like a Mega Man X9 or a Mega Man 12, or even, if I know this is shot in the dark there, Mega Man Legends 3, despite the history of that game, to be exact though, after the following success that Mega Man 11 had though, and unfortunately to them focusing on Mega Man X Dive offline, a mobile game and all, yeah, I can see why not everybody is pleased with that, and it's not the Mega Man game that they were hoping for though. The next one is basically a game called Pac-Mata, if I'm saying the name correctly though. I think this was shown during when they were showing off the capability of the PS5 and everything like that though. The game does look interesting. We did see a little bit of gameplay though, but unfortunately the game has, however, been delayed though, so it won't be coming out, I believe, this year. We don't know if it will be out next year, so obviously they have to do more work on it though, which is a little bit unfortunate though, but still this game kind of caught my attention. And last but not least though, I'm still not 100% sold on Exoprimal, to be exact though. I believe this is Capcom's, live service type of the game and all that. And from what I'm shown so far, I'm just not 100% sold on this one. I would have preferred if they announced a reboot or a brand new Dino Crisis game over this though. I mean, I just can't help shake the feeling that this could end up like what we saw with games like Anthem and Babylon Fall, or Marvel's Avengers and everything like that. I mean, it might have an audience and everything like that, so we'll have to wait and see, but I'm not really 100% sold on it though. I mean, it is coming to Game Pass, so at the very least, if for some reason somehow the servers eventually get pulled or anything like that, I'm not losing sleep over the fact that I didn't blow $70 on it or anything like that. But I'm just not really 100% sold on this Exoprimal at this time though. Maybe things will change, but again, the always online, I just can't shake the Anthem vibe to it in a way, so I'm just not really sold on this one, to be exact, though. Overall, I would say Capcom Showcase, while not terrible or awful, I would say wasn't the strongest one out of the ones that we had this week, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that we got more info on Dragon Dogma 2. I am looking forward to that. I'm glad that Ghost Trick Detective is getting a second chance, though, with a demo out already. And the fact that we have another collection of the Ace Attorney series, this time focusing on Apollo Justice. So I think that's definitely great and all. But at the same time, they also wasn't really strong one either, though. Path of the Goddess, like I said, looked great, but it felt like it just only showed footage from the Xbox showcase, though. Mega Man X Dive Offline obviously isn't the Mega Man game a lot of us were hoping for, though. Pragmata, if I'm saying the name correctly, again, got delayed, though. Looks interesting, though, but unfortunately, hearing that it's been delayed is a little bit really sad, though, and I'm just not sold on Exo Primal or anything like that. There might be those out there who might be, and that's fine. It's just, I'm not 100% sold on it at this time, though. Maybe over time things will change, but for right now, it isn't there. And I will say, it was definitely not the strongest one. It wasn't terrible, but not the strongest showing from Capcom. Maybe if they do another showcase, we'll see something. Maybe they'll improve upon it, but I will say, there's, again, not terrible, but I will say it was the weakest one out of the other showcase that happened this week and all. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the Xbox showcase, though? Do you think it lived up to the expectations, though? Do you think Microsoft did a good job with it? Do you think they did a poor job of it? Were there games you were happy they announced? Were there games that you wish they had announced during the Xbox showcase? What are your thoughts about the Starfield Direct, though? Did the Direct sold you on Starfield, though? Are you looking forward to getting this game, though? Or you still have some concerns about it? Or do you want to try it out on Game Pass first before deciding whether it's worth sinking $70 into it or not? What did you thought about Ubisoft Forward, though? Did you like the approach Ubisoft took with this, going back, having a live event and everything like that, though? Do you think that was the right move? Do you think it wasn't? Do you think some of the games they showed were actually good? Or do you think not all of them were great or anything like that, though? And what did you thought about the Capcom showcase? Do you think it was as bad as the internet made it sound like it is? Do you think it wasn't that bad, though? Do you think it was the weakest out of all the showcases that were shown? Do you think, or do you don't think it was? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!